Yeah, as the slide says, I'm going to talk a little bit about like my personal journey and how it had helped my personal journey in DI and how it had helped in my professional growth. So, Angie did talk a brief about my background. I'm a senior software engineer at Slack, and I've been previously employed at Dropbox, Microsoft, and Visa, and I've been involved in the women at ERG in all those companies, primarily in Dropbox and Microsoft. And while my time at Dropbox, I was the North America lead for the ERG. And apart from that, outside of work, also I founded the Dallas anithapi.org community. So for those of you who doesn't know anithapi.org, it's a wonderful, amazing organization that supports women and non-binary in tech. They conduct Grace Hopper celebration every year, and that's their flagship program. So a lot of people know about Grace Hopper. So they've been in the industry for a long time, and that was one of my biggest supporter or my biggest area for improving my skills and playing around with DEI efforts. And I am currently the Dallas community leader and also a global POC for INEW.org. So that's a brief about me on like what I do, what is my work, and what's outside of work. So let's start with the problem. What is the problem in topic? So a few years ago, I found myself in a room full of a lot of accomplished professionals who were my colleagues, but I felt really invisible. I was doing great work. I was hitting my career milestones, getting great feedback from my managers and peers. But somehow I felt that I'm not getting noticed in the way I wanted to be, or I don't feel that sense of accomplishments. And I kept wondering what I was missing. And that's when I moved to a new city, and I need to find something that really kicks my passion out. And also, I was moving to a remote role, like I'm not meeting anybody. That's when I actually started getting involved in more of DEI efforts, like getting more involved in mentoring, volunteering, etc. So it wasn't as a career strategy that I started, but it was simply because I wanted to make a difference or do something that impacts anyone's life. And what I didn't expect was how that would transform my career. Through the ERG's mentorship and community building, I not only found my voice, but also built a personal brand that opened a door that would never have been possible like the other ways. So in today's market, like everybody wants to stand out. Like a lot of people, they're really good at what they're doing, but you really need something that makes you stand out, and that's your personal brand. And like Kimberly said in the previous talk, like DA is not a separate effort. Like it's a part of you, and it really helps you grow through it. It really helps you build who you are. And so also again, in my experience, like that has been one of the biggest catalysts for my career. And what is the opportunity that it is bringing? So, what if I told you that the DEI work could make you more visible in your company, connect you with more influential leaders, and develop your leadership skills that is going to really impact your career progression? And that's the type of opportunity that DEI effort is bringing into you. And that being said, I want to stress out that I didn't start all these because it was a career strategy for me, but I started doing it out of passion, which was really something that honestly, I started it as a hobby of getting more involved in mentorship and volunteering. And that took me really to a different realm of life. So let me talk a little bit about my DEI journey. So it all started with volunteering and mentorship. I wanted to help students who were in my similar stage a few years ago. So I'm originally from India, and I came to the US as an international student. So I really know what is the struggle to get here, to build your life here. So I wanted to give a helping hand to the students who were in the similar path of me. And that's when I started volunteering to mentor these kids or students who were coming in. And it was all just part of, I felt like I want to give back to the community. And that's how it all started. And some of the key milestones. The very first one is, I would say, my involvement with AnyW.org. starting the community here. I got two amazing other leaders with me. So we started hosting events here, meeting more folks. That was really a milestone in my journey. And also that led me to get more involved in my company ERGs, like take up leadership roles, help in conducting events or like finding speakers for the events. And that in turn led me to start talking, like how I'm doing right now, start talking about like what I was involved in, or what made me get involved in these things, like what are some ways that you could involve. And without all this, I never thought I would be doing a session like this ever. Even though I was on stage for different purposes, but I never thought I would be speaking at Avenue or at something like this. So that's most of the milestones that I had. And the benefits. I did briefly mention about the benefits of getting involved and how it had helped me. Networking opportunities. I connected with a lot of senior leaders and mentors who helped me throughout my career ever since. And also leadership experience and recognition. That was something that came along the way. I learned how to influence without authority, a critical skill that is needed in any of the roles, and also to build my leadership brand. Like what do I be known for? Like what am my expertise at? Building all those things which also brought in a lot of recognition in me. For me, people started recognizing when I go for meetings, hey, that's Donna. I met her at such and such event, she was hosting it. So that actually boosted my confidence. Building my own brand is something that I could do with the help of all the initiatives that actually I was involved with. So that's how my journey was. And now I think it's the right time to talk a bit about like how it's all connected. I'll tell you an instance from my own journey. So I talked about Grace Hopper celebration in the beginning. So I was at that conference, I attended a session, and it was a really inspiring session. And I wanted to bring in that speaker to my company. So I reached out to her after the conference. I asked her like if she could do a session in the company. And that was around the time of International Women's Day like this. And she agreed to do the session. And then it was the time for me to convince my company to bring her in, because that involves money, because her session is paid, and it was totally worth it though. So I reached out to my ERG leads telling that, hey, I have this session that I have in mind. It's a fireside chat. This is an amazing speaker that we have, like really motivating. And I was able to convince them to put down the money for this session. And the session went well. So that was one of the best sessions that we had in a while, and people really enjoyed it, and I got really great feedback on the session. And since it was a fireside chat, I was also on stage with her. I was moderating it. So that gave me a way of connecting with a lot of folks across the company whom I wouldn't have connected with other ways. Because I was working as a remote engineer, I had no chance of meeting those people. So this was one of the way that my efforts outside of company was brought into the company. And all these resulted in something different next year. So the next year, when the ERG was looking for new leads, they asked me if I could do the North America lead for Dropbox. And that's one way it all connected to me. So you can see that like that was something outside of my work. Like I tried to bring it to my work, and how it helped me to build my brand. And that was one of the beautiful moments that I had throughout my DEI journey. So let's talk a bit about the skills that I learned. Networking and relationship building. DEI work naturally connects you with a lot of people across the teams and leadership levels. And it expands your network beyond your immediate role. It also gives you a chance to connect with them intentionally and also build the relationship. You can network a lot, but building relationship is a totally different thing. So when you meet in such a scenario, or like in a different type of meeting setting, like you build a relationship with them, and that actually helps you build your brand again in a different way, because you might have met somebody at one of the networking event by any of the organizations that you're involved in or volunteering in. And when somebody else needs something of that sort, you could actually connect them both. You are actually building a three-way relationship there. So you're building a relationship with the original person and also the person whom you're supporting. So that's how it helped me build relationships. And of course, leadership and influence. There's a lot of influence, a lot of leadership skills that I learned during my involvement on managing the volunteers or conducting an event, planning for something. All these came through it. And problem solving and strategic thinking is something that is really tied towards it. Creating an inclusive program requires a lot of strategic thinking and its long-term impact. And that's a skill that would apply for a lot of things involved, including product development, business strategy, etc. Of course, communication and public speaking. I did mention that I never thought that I would be doing a session like this if I was not involved in. And how does DI boost your personal branding? One of the main thing is visibility. You get a lot of visibility with the work that you're doing when it starts getting the impact. You'll get noticed not just within your company, but also in the industry itself sometimes, like depending on the impact of your work. Your work actually speaks for yourself. And opportunities, I did talk a lot about it. I don't want to talk on it then, but then I wanted to emphasize on the fact that the type of opportunities that you might be able to get through your work. And credibility. When you do something with your whole heart, it actually shows what your values are and what you're known for, what is your reputation. All these are building your credibility, and that actually helps you in your career as well. Like when somebody looks up you on LinkedIn or somewhere, like hears about you and like learn about you from somebody else. What are you known for? What is your brand like? All these matters. And self-confidence, that's also something that I already mentioned. Seeing the impact of your work gives you a lot of confidence, especially to take up on bigger tasks, speak up, and advocating for your own career. That actually really helps. There were times early in my career when I really had great ideas, but I was too shy to speak up or talk about it. And somebody else would be telling the same idea in a few moments, and like they get all the credits and applauded. They get applauded. So I never want that to happen to me or anyone after that. So I started speaking up for myself, and I also encouraged others to do the same. So all these are part of getting or building your self-confidence. And so if just to take a pause on here, if there's any questions, I'm happy to take it towards the end of the session. Like I'm sure we'll have some time for that. And what are some of the practical steps to build your brand through DEI? First of all, identify your values. What are your priorities? And find volunteering or involvements that actually matches with your principles, or like something that you really want to get involved in. Like there might be a lot of things that you want, whether it be you want to support college students, or you want to support moms who are trying to get back to work. Like figure out like what your values are, what your priorities are, and try to find opportunities related to that will give you the momentum, and also like you'll really enjoy what you're doing. And the second thing is engaging in DI initiatives. It can be excuse me, it can be as simple as attending a couple of sessions in your company ERGs or any of the related works, or volunteering for an local organization that might be working on something related. And also speaking and writing. Share your thoughts on blogs, social media, or public speaking. Writing was never my thing, so I never attempted that. So if that's your skill, go for it. It's really impactful. And networking with DI advocates. Connect with people who are of the similar mindset as yours, and they can become your mentors, sponsors, or even future collaborators for events. So collaboration has a huge power in this space. Like when you combine forces, when you work with others, you will be able to get a lot more things done than sometimes like when you do it alone. So make sure to use those resources that you have. Connect with the folks that you are, connect with like-minded folks. And also, while you do all these things, measure your impact. You can just keep going on and on, doing a lot of things. But also, like, what do you get out of it? Like, are you getting the self-satisfaction? Yes, that's an impact that you have. Are you influencing someone else's life? Yes, that's another way of impacting. It can be a connection that you made. It can be a recognition that you gained, a leadership skill that you learned. Measure your impact. How has it helped you? Or do you have to pivot on anything or take a different way? If you're not happy with what you're doing, maybe that's time to pivot on a different angle or a different direction. So keep track of that. And these are some of the things that really worked for me when I started getting involved in a lot of these DEI initiatives. And I really hope it helps you too. And with that, I'd like to take any questions. I know we have four minutes. Happy to take any questions that you may have. So stay connected. I'd like to keep the connections going. So that's a QR code that would take to my LinkedIn profile. Please connect with me, and I'd like to collaborate with all of you guys. Like if whenever we have a good opportunity. So Monica has a question: how to get started? One thing that worked for me was getting involved in my company's ERGs. Understand like what are the requirements, what are they looking for, identify all those things, and then go out outside of your work, try to get involved in other organizations. So because when you started a company, this is the advantage that I see, like you're working with people whom you already know. It's not something totally new to you. And you'll be more comfortable there, and then you gain the confidence to go out outside of work and get things done. What's the best career advice you ever received? The best career advice that I ever received is speak up for yourself. So, say you want a promotion, you want to tap a specific project, talk for yourself. Nobody is going to give it in a good golden platter and give it to you. So, you have to talk for yourself, speak for yourself. And when you need that project or when you need that promotion, or if you're not comfortable with something, speak up for yourself. Do you have any stories about a time fake it till you make it actually worked? Yes, each time I am up on stage for a session, I am sometimes terrified on what I would say or how would it go. So I pretend that yes, I think I'm okay. I keep believing that yeah, I'm going to do good there, and it actually has worked for me so far. Thanks, Amy. Those are all great questions. With that, okay, what's the time you turned a no into a career win? So there has been times when some of the projects that I worked on got stalled or like was deprioritized. So sometimes, like it has happened in the past, like a couple of times. And what I do in those circumstances is like see what I can like scrap out of it and make useful for something different, or like at least put together a document that would help somebody in the future. So doing that has actually helped my team to get into a culture of like whatever work we do, like if it was paused in between, keep a note of it, what was done, what was not done, like how much of it can be reused for a different purpose. Keeping the team has got into that habit, and we were able to reuse some of the older projects later when we worked on a different project from that culture.